The most disturbing home invasions caught on camera iceberg. Dude, you know, the only reason I don't like these type of videos is because it's like genuine terror screams. After too long, like, it's like, okay, I can't laugh at any of this, you know? Like, it's dark.
Home invasions, 7 levels. I've spent hours going through security footage and door cams to compile the most disturbing home invasions ever caught on camera. We'll start with some bizarre encounters and go deeper into intrusions so horrifying, you'll check your locks twice before sleep.
Oh, no mask is scarier than with a mask. I feel like with a mask, you at least assume they're trying to get out.
Level 1. Man's best friend.
Dude, I feel like this is gonna be so good, and I'm really glad.
In October 2022, an intruder was attempting to break into a house in Saltillo, Mexico. To bypass the locked front doors, he had to climb up the wall.
Oh, I've been saying this shit's a possibility, bro. I lock the balcony door of any apartment that I'm in all the time. Bro, you're not gonna get into my apartment. Ninja style. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm thinking about that.
And enter through an upper terrace. But he had no idea what he was about to face.
Bro, a dog on the roof? I would not expect that. I would not expect that. At all. That would be absolutely terrifying. And you've just made the endeavor to climb a roof. A terrace is generous. Like, this is a roof height.
Now, the trespasser had been scouting the house for days, so he knew exactly when the family would sleep, and expected to waltz in with no resistance. But what he didn't know was that the family had dogs on the terrace. So the moment he reached the top, they picked up his scent and immediately got aggressive.
Talk about a wild card, bro. Nobody would expect that.
He had no time to bypass them as they instantly blocked his path to the doors.
Dude, look at that luscious mustache he's got going. That is crazy.
Barking to wake their sleeping owners. And suddenly, a normal heist turned into a life or death situation.
Oh, is he just
The intruder was completely cornered on the high ledge with nowhere to go but down. Get mauled or take a leap of faith.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like you jump around and hold the other side so you're not gonna die.
He chose the latter, launching his body off the edge of the terrace and dropping all the way down to the street below. The man writhed in pain as he struggled to stand up with the dog.
Dude, that's full ass concrete too. There's nothing breaking your fall except your body.
Now, when the police arrived after an emergency call, they found the burglar still groaning on the side. But the police showed no mercy and immediately detained.
Wow, dude, he's lucky he didn't die. Holy shit. That's the ultimate robber deterrent, I think, is a dog. They're going to be scared of what it could do. Like, they're not going to see what it does first.
Peaceful retirement. In the morning hours of March 30th, 2026, Elena Perelin and her husband were asleep in the upstairs bedroom of their Brisbane home. Suddenly, 4 masked intruders broke in through the front door. When Perelin went downstairs to investigate, she walked straight into a living room being ransacked by the men. But these men weren't just there to steal things. They carried knives and were ready to inflict pain.
Oh, just knives though? That's why you gotta be the granny with the shotgun. Smoking with the 12 gauge. Like, if I'm a grandma, 100% that's the path. You gotta be packing, you know? Especially if you hear something loud.
So upon seeing Perelin, they didn't flee. Instead, they doubled down on their aggression. The moment Perelin reached for her phone to call the police, one of them lunged forward and struck it out of her hand. He did it with such force that it cut her skin and fractured her fingers. To make matters worse, one of them even threatened to grab the gun and fire as she screamed in panic. Despite their violent posturing, the vibe suddenly shifted when...
Bro, they're all masked up. They're trying to get out of there. They're not there to kill nobody.
Perelin's husband came downstairs. It was easy for the intruders to attack the woman, but they aborted the mission as soon as they saw him.
Yeah.
In fact, they sped away without stealing a single item.
I mean, as a robber though, right? Let's get into the mindset of what a robber would think. You try it. If it doesn't work with like no resistance whatsoever, next one. We're not getting caught, you know? Like, that's the whole... I'm just trying to be rational here. I'm not promoting. Definitely don't do that. Definitely don't rob anybody.
Police, on the other hand, intercepted the gang after 48 hours and arrested the suspects.
Wow, really? And two, really? They found who it was? That was the problem, because they did go next house, next house. You gotta go next house, next. Like, you're nomad. You're not gonna just be like working from home as a robber. 95% travel.
Turning the tables. 3 armed robbers invaded a farm in South Africa, thinking they could just waltz in. But they'd seriously underestimated their victim. Armed with handguns and knives.
Farm? I mean, that guy's gotta have a shotgun. I mean, you have a gun for the animals, right? Like, in case one gets injured, like they say.
They slipped through the open door of the farmer's private workshop on August 21st, 2022. But they timed it so well that they completely caught the poor man off
loading him up right now?
guard and isolated him. So with a gun pointed at him, the farmer had to drop to his knees under a desk and beg the intruders for mercy.
Oh, shit.
But they didn't have any. They aggressively grabbed him, dragging him out toward the farmyard. However, halfway through the door, the farmer realized he had an opening.
Oh,
so he used all the...
Dude, that's like a movie, dude. I don't like that. In the moment, you feel like you can like capitalize on when you need to, or like you realize that was a wrong moment and you're just like, like, I'm actually dead now. That's crazy.
Power he had to break free from the robber's grip. In an instant, he lunged toward a gun he'd hidden on a nearby workbench, grabbed it, and started firing.
That's some Liam Neeson shit.
This sudden move immediately turned the tables as the intruders panicked, dropped their items, and frantically ran out. The farmer didn't just stop there either. He continued to pursue them and fire until they were fully off the property.
I mean, that's only fair. That's just property law. I mean, we got to be thorough with our threat disbursement, you know? Wow, dude, he just picked up like a taped gun to the like toolbox or something. Oh my God. This is a Bob the Builder like meets Liam Neeson. Bob the Builder Neeson.
Level 2.
Dude, that was a crazy one. That's what I'm saying. Level 1 has been insane. Like, what? I don't even...
Off duty. When a man returned home after a night of drinking, the last thing he expected was a police officer with a gun pointed at him. 33-year-old Jose Mendoza was coming to his friend's Chicago apartment to spend the night on March 31st, 2021. But since he was drunk and disoriented, he mistakenly walked up to the wrong door.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
He kept trying to turn the door handle back and forth, trying to get inside, and when the lock didn't yield, he stepped away, slid down, and sat on the hallway floor with his back against the wall. Now, the person inside that apartment was an off-duty police officer.
Oh my God, bro. The worst mistake to make, especially drunk. You didn't even know you made it.
Officer Iwan Smith, who was watching TV with his wife and daughter. But when he heard the door rattle, he didn't call 911 or ask who was there.
Dude, bro, is 911, dude. He's like, I'm bringing the law. And it shoots through the door. I bet.
Instead, he walked to his safe, grabbed his service weapon, and threw the front door wide open. Mendoza was startled, slowly standing up to face the officer. However, Smith had already made up his mind. He fired a single shot without attempting to de-escalate.
Bro, you could see it on Patreon. It's crazy. I mean, do we need to, though? I mean, I don't know. Some people, I'm sure.
Sending Mendoza hurtling to the floor. And when the police arrived, Smith told them the man was armed and had aggressively forced his way inside the apartment.
Yeah, typical cop language. Typical cop language.
Now, Mendoza survived, but the bullet destroyed his facial structure and left him partially blind.
Bro, I just feel bad now. Like, dude didn't even need to shoot him. He was just super fucking drunk.
And while he was eventually rushed to the hospital, the man was locked up on $1 million bond for burglary and home invasion charges. But the story doesn't end there.
Bro, just because it was a cop that was like the subject of the crime, that's probably why he got such a crazy sentence.
Burglary and home invasion charges. But the story doesn't end there, because the body cam...
Wait, burglary? Dude didn't steal anything. What do you mean burglary? And he tried to open it and it didn't work. So he didn't open... United States is so lame.
Revealed the real truth. Turns out that rather than giving first aid, Smith stood over the bleeding man until the police arrived. Not to mention, the man wasn't armed either. In the end, Mendoza's legal
Bro, you shot him in the face. Like, leave it alone.
team filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Chicago and Ewan Smith.
Wow.
But in 2023, the court ruled in the officer's favor, saying he was justified in firing at the suspected intruder.
Yo, that's crazy, though. What? Attorney for the man who was shot said he was appalled and mystified by Copa's ruling because the officer's sworn statements sit in contrast with the... Exactly, bro. There be... Oh, wow. You don't see what the officer described, and it certainly didn't justify being shot in the head. Attorney Thomas Glasgow. Bro, what? Like, that's real, dude. That really happened to somebody. Like, dude's just sitting with no justice, like, in a violent manner, and the officer Smith reasonably feared an assault or further violence. That's crazy, dude. It's on video, though. It's on video, and he's got the actual video on his Patreon. Like, can we not use that in court? Is everybody corrupt?
The hidden tracker.
Dude.
AirTags are great for keeping track of your things, but in August 2025, one became the catalyst for an armed invasion. The incident unfolded in Odessa, Florida, where a couple was pulling into their driveway. But little did they know, they were being tracked this whole time. Weeks prior, a criminal duo had snuck up to their SUV and taped an AirTag under it, using it to map out their daily routines. So as soon as the couple opened the car doors, two masked men rushed from the shadows and ambushed them. What followed was a straight-up nightmare.
Bro, that is so elaborate, too, though. Like, why even do all that? Like, you could just approach somebody who's pulling up home, but y'all got info now.
One suspect grabbed the woman from the passenger side while his partner put a gun against the man's body. A quick driveway mugging would have been one
They know it's an old couple. That's so fucked.
thing, but these people had been planning the heist for weeks. The attackers violently shoved the victims into their dark garage, hoping to ransack the entire home. But that's when the unexpected happened. Their momentum was instantly broken by a loud home security siren at the entrance. And just like that, both suspects abandoned the victims in the garage, sprinted down the driveway, and sped away from the neighborhood.
Yo, how'd it go off, though? That's awesome.
In the weeks that followed, police tracked down the suspects using the AirTag serial number and traffic footage. And 2 months later, the suspects were finally caught.
Yo, they reverse AirTagged you. That's insane, bro. They really got you, though. I mean, you can't even be mad. They fucking got your ass.
And charged with armed burglary.
I mean, just buy it in cash? Just buy it in cash? Did you use a credit card?
The camera. On April 20th, a girl and her friend were relaxing in their Texas home. At about 8 p.m., the girl's cousin arrived to grab some clothes from the garage. But as soon as she opened the door, two hooded intruders sprang from the shadows and forced their way inside. Heavily armed, they ordered the terrified youngsters to lie face down on a rug, keeping their assault rifles trained directly
ARs? What are we doing? What the fuck?
at their heads. What they didn't realize, though, was that miles away, the homeowner was receiving motion alerts from the security camera on his phone. So when he opened the app to check, he saw live footage of his daughter and niece being held captive.
Wow,
it was
dude.
an absolute horror show as the gunman grabbed the niece and forced her out of the room to look for valuables.
Bro, I was gonna say, how dumb would it be if you got on the mic and were like, hey, stop robbing the place? But, I mean, that would actually maybe scare them, because now they know somebody knows. Like, that might actually work.
Gunman grabbed the niece and forced her out of the room to look for valuables. However, the homeowner wasn't just gonna sit there and watch. He activated the camera's mic from his phone and started threatening the robbers.
Called it.
The gunmen were shocked as threats of the police being called rang out throughout the living room. Within seconds, they panicked, realizing their identities were being recorded live. The cops were on their way. So, they grabbed whatever they could and fled through the door. Now, the homeowner initially suspected that the niece was actually an inside accomplice, But police interviews later clarified that the intruders had simply stalked her outside before.
That is a crazy family dynamic that you're like, she had to be in on it. Like, what the fuck, bro? She's in the video getting, you know, pushed down.
For the attack. That said, despite the clear footage, detectives have been unable to catch the culprits and bring them to justice.
Wow.
Level 3.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. It's crazy that they found the guys in the beginning. Like, I mean, you can kind of make their faces out in this one, so they probably found it. But like, that's what I'm saying. How do we like do facial recognition, but y'all can't like get a court case together and do it right?
Mystery prize. A quiet afternoon in Silver Lake turned into a frantic invasion as robbers tore through the front door. The incident unfolded on March 29, 2017. A woman was relaxing inside her house when she heard the two men enter. Recognizing the danger, she immediately fled into the bathroom and locked the door while calling 911. The intruders weren't just there to steal any valuables they could find. Instead, these people were moving with intent, tracking the woman to the bathroom. Once they kicked...
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. They're in the house still like tracking her. Like, they're really trying to like apprehend her.
The door open, they had one question: where is it? She had no idea what they were after, yet they kept insisting. In fact, despite promising they wouldn't hurt her, one of them ripped off her necklace and snatched her phone so she couldn't contact the police. For the next 3 minutes, they frantically searched through the doors and ransacked the entire home. But strangely enough, they didn't take anything.
Bro, you gotta be connected, though. I mean, if somebody busts in your house saying, where is it? Like, you gotta know something's up. Like, your husband's doing some Breaking Bad or some shit.
Simply fleeing into the neighborhood empty-handed. What's more, one of the intruders actually called the police to turn himself in and was found sobbing on the curb. Yet, when the police offered to reduce his sentence in exchange for information about his accomplice, he simply refused. So, in the end, the man was sentenced to 30 months in prison with no one knowing.
Oh, that's it? You break into somebody's house and assault them? And you're just 2.5 years? That's like stealing from like Walmart, dude. Like a lot of money you'd have to steal for that. But I mean, what the fuck? It's a robbery. Like it's essentially attempted murder. Like attempted third-degree assault is like, we're downplaying the fuck out of that.
In the end, the man was sentenced to 30 months in prison with no one knowing what the robbers were after or why they broke into the house. The Wizard. When a stranger showed up at a house in California, he had no idea
this was in the beginning, bro. He's just hitting it with like a net, like nunchucks. Like what the fuck?
It'd end with a violent struggle. On April 7th, 2026, a woman was home alone with family when 30-year-old Jason Nichols suddenly approached the front porch. Wearing a long trench coat, Nichols began aggressively hammering on the door and even smashed the doorbell. But
oh, he got it from the door.
The things he said were just bizarre. For instance, he identified himself as Harry Dresden, a wizard from a fantasy novel series.
Yo, would this guy have a psychotic break on your Ring doorbell?
Plus, he kept shouting, asking where the homeowner's daughter was. Now, the homeowner wasn't actually there, but he was speaking to Nichols through the security camera. His attempt to de-escalate weren't working either, as the stranger got increasingly more aggressive. But when Nichols failed to kick down the door, he lost all control. Slipping through the side of the house, he shattered the glass door to force his way inside the living quarters. And the homeowner wasn't just going to let an intruder attack his family. So, rather than calling the cops, he sped back to the neighborhood and charged through his own doors, finding Nichols inside. And what followed was a desperate struggle as they struck each other. The homeowner even grabbed a shovel to...
Yo, I'm not running in there without a weapon, like like a gun or something. Like what? You're trying to defend the home with a shovel? A shovel, bro? Like, I'm not gonna be like dude was knocked out on the curb with a shovel, like gunshot wound to the chest. I'm gonna be like, bro, what the fuck was my husband doing? Like, what a loser thinking a shovel was gonna be enough
to get the upper hand, but it only ended with both men getting head injuries. Now that said, the fight did disorient Nichols, forcing him out of the house just as emergency sirens started blaring down the street. Within seconds, police units flooded the area and found the injured suspect a short distance from the home. In the end, Jason Nichols was arrested and handed a litany of charges with a $250,000.
Bro, still not more than the other one. Still not more, way more aggressive. Still not $1 million bond. Why are we I don't know, dude. Why are we like doing that? Like what? Yeah, he's a police officer. You don't need to like go extra on the other guy who did a crime because he did it to a police. That's just stupid.
Bail.
I don't know. I hate
Misfire.
I hate it.
Most people would be praised if they defended their house from invaders. But for a man in Florida, it turned out to be a big mistake.
Oh no. Oh no. He starts like shooting at cops through the door.
He was cornered when 4 men attempted to force their way into his house on August 23rd, 2025. But he didn't run or hide. Instead, the man grabbed a gun and fired several rounds at the suspects, forcing all 4 of them to flee the property. Now, he thought the chaos was finally over, but then 2 police officers showed up to see what the commotion was all about. Now, they'd heard the gunfire, so they approached the front entryway cautiously with their weapons drawn. One of them knocked on the door while another announced their presence. Inside the house, the homeowner walked up to the entrance thinking they'd come to save him. However, just as he unlocked the door, one officer accidentally fired his service weapon. The bullet echoed through the neighborhood as it struck the very
What? And this is exactly why we can't be like preferring cops, because just because you're a cop doesn't mean you could do no wrong,
victim who'd called for help. And within seconds, he was on the ground with sirens blaring.
He hit him too? I thought he just shot at the door or something.
As emergency teams rushed to the scene. In the end, the man was taken to the local hospital. But while the point-blank shot looked bad, the bullet fortunately missed his vital organs. So he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Yeah, bro, but it still hit his ass. Like, it still full-on hit him. Like, you didn't... You gotta get fired, right? You cannot be a cop after that.
Injuries before being
relieved of law enforcement duties. Good. Holy shit.
Released later that afternoon.
And wait a minute, and resigned to an administrative role? Like, you still get to keep a job? I don't know, bro.
For non-life-threatening injuries before being released later that afternoon. As for the officer, he was reassigned to an admin role with the state review still pending.
But whatever, I'm over it, dude. Whatever.
Robbers dressed up as cops for a heist. They had no idea that a simple miscalculation would destroy their cover. It all unfolded at an apartment complex in...
I was wearing black and white, though. Come on.
Fresno, California. At around 7 a.m. on January 26, 2025, 3 men dressed in tactical vests and masks forced their way into a unit. And since they were dressed as cops, they didn't face any resistance. However, once inside...
Bro, anybody bust the door down and be like, what the f*** on? Like, you're not gonna get in here unless you tell me what you're looking for. Like,
trio didn't even look at any standard valuables. Instead, they went straight for a massive floor safe, wrestling it out of the build. Now,
they were eyeing that.
But as they jammed the safe into the trunk, they realized it was
It's too heavy, bro. There's no way that piece of carrying this. Common sense. You should know that's not gonna work.
Big to fit properly.
That's probably like a 2-ton safe. That is a huge safe. That's like a commercial safe.
So they just kept the lid open and let the locker hang out of the back as they tried to speed away out of the complex. But by then, it was too late. The real Fresno police were...
Oh, yeah, dude, you're not getting it home. They'll be like, yeah, they're driving home with a safe in the back? Like, that's a little bit weird. The dude, stop with the spam. It's so fucking lame, bro. Whatever, loser.
Already swarming the parking lot. Refusing to surrender,
they didn't even get out of the complex. They got nowhere before the cops showed up.
Steered the car toward an officer's position and accelerated. But the officer opened fire to stop the car. While it didn't stop the vehicle, the bullets disoriented the intruders enough that they dropped the safe while punching through the police line. And just like that, the heist had now turned into a high-speed pursuit.
Bro, and now you're just trying to get away from like 5 cops with no loot. You have nothing. You did all of that for nothing, and you got a 5-star basically.
Police vehicles sped through the neighboring college campus trying to catch up to the SUV. But the chase...
Yo, this is a college campus that you're stealing from? What a piece of shit, dude.
Really reached its climax when they executed a pit maneuver, crashing directly into the fleeing car. The chase was over, and the SUV had been stopped.
You ever wonder if they're like, cops, bro, stop hitting things. Like, we gotta fix these cars, like, daily. Like, you guys gotta stop hitting shit. That's why they put the front guard on it.
To the fleeing car. The chase was over, and the SUV had been stopped. However, the driver still refused to give up, grabbing a weapon and trying to flee on foot. Luckily, a K9 unit was on...
What was the point there, bro? I'm gonna put my head down and no one could... I'm good. I don't have a whole body that they can shoot.
Grabbing a weapon and trying to flee on foot. Luckily, a K9 unit was on site and successfully intercepted the armed driver. In the end, all 3 suspects were arrested at the scene, and a subsequent search of the scene also exposed a massive stash of weaponry. Now, the incidents so far have been brutal.
Bro, you guys lost everything. You lost any loot that you had from the previous heists. Like a bunch of guns that probably aren't registered. Like, you lost them all now.
Brutal, but the next stories will make you never want to open your door for a stranger again. So subscribe and buckle up. Level 4, the Rampage. The suspect thought he'd have an easy escape, but he didn't expect a bleeding father to fight back. On February 26, 2026, a quiet night in South Surrey was disrupted when the homeowners woke up to strange noises outside their mobile home. But before they could even look out the window,
this is just like the dumbest thing. Like, why robbing somebody and then expecting to hurt them is the dumbest shit ever. Like, why? You're not going to get away with that. Like, their body's going to be in that. Like, you're not going to deal with all of that, you know? Like, you're just trying to steal some shit, no? Like, why are you killing?
A stranger, later identified as David Hoffman, violently broke his way through the front door. And just like that, a physical struggle erupted in the tight hallway as the homeowner and the stranger fought each other.
He don't even have a weapon.
The intruder aggressively demanded their car keys, but the man refused to back down, protecting his wife and everything he had. So they kept fighting until the violence spilled out of the house. However...
Oh, dude, I'd be on some adrenaline shit, dude, for sure. Like, I'm like, this is my Liam Neeson moment right here. Like, I don't think I would fumble that. Like, I feel like the adrenaline, bro, like, I think I'd stop anybody. I don't know. Maybe that's what would be my downfall. I'm not sure.
That's when Hoffman broke free and completely lost control. He began sprinting through the neighborhood, smashing random windows and kicking doors.
Yeah, bro's just mad, dude. He's just mad. He didn't have a weapon. Like, he was just, like, terrorizing the neighborhood.
People woke up to frantic banging and opened their doors to a horrific sight. The couple was standing on their porch covered in blood after the struggle while the suspect went berserk. But that's when the husband decided he'd had enough. So he grabbed a hockey stick and launched.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Some weird ass. I'd be like, it's last resort. I'm gonna grab some weird ass weapon. I'm gonna whoop your ass with like a broomstick, like an old ass, like witch broomstick or something, you know? Or like a cord, like an aux cable, but like one of them thick ones, you know, for like a microphone or something. Just like, I'd be going to town, bro. If I'm justified, bro. I'm taking the advantage, you know. I'm gonna be whooping the ass, like I'm trying to get it in, you know, while I'm still legal with it. Is there some, I don't know, maybe that's a problem.
One final attack toward Hoffman, trying to restrain him until the police could arrive. Minutes later, the area was full of cops, and they'd taken the suspect into custody. But the drama doesn't end there. Due to injuries from the fight, the suspect was transported under tight security to a nearby hospital. However, he lost his cool in the medical ward, again, launching an attack against the medical staff and even trying to snatch an officer's gun. At one point, things got so bad that it took several...
Bro, why is he not in handcuffs? Why is he not in handcuffs? Why can't he do all of this shit? That's what I'm just so done with the police shit, bro. Like, every part of it is so fucked. Like, it's so annoying to even think about.
...guards to restrain him. Not to mention, the man even injured an officer in the process. But in the end, Hoffman was...
Bro, but we're just gonna say that shit. Dude got like a paper cut or something. Like, come on. I can't with that shit.
...arrested and given half a dozen criminal charges. Point of failure. When armed men robbed a couple in January 2021, they had no idea a faulty weapon would destroy their plans.
Yeah, but they shouldn't.
The husband and wife pulled up to their home in Florida at about 3 in the morning. They just enjoyed a late night out and were casually walking up to their front door. But out of nowhere, 2 masked men with handguns.
Bro, Florida's not the move, dude. This is the second one from Florida. That's late night. They just be walking up to you. Out your car and stuff. Like, that's crazy.
Guns suddenly charged at them. One attacker violently yanked the woman by her hair and slammed her into the floor, while his partner pushed a pistol against the husband's head. The couple desperately tried resisting, but it only caused the gunmen to double down on their cruelty. In fact, they began hitting the victims, even threatening to fire the gun if the man didn't give them his expensive watch. And within seconds, the heist split into 2 nightmares.
Bro, why not just take it, though? Like, why are you being a bitch and having him, like, try to take it off of himself? Like, I mean, if you're really just trying to rob and take some stuff, like, do it. Like, stop hurt. Why you gotta hurt people to get your stuff done? Like, you just weak?
As one suspect stormed into the house to ransack it, while outside in the driveway, the gunman kept his weapon aimed at the bleeding woman. What happened next shocked everyone. The robber actually followed through on his threats, pulling the trigger at point-blank range at the woman. But his gun jammed and didn't fire at all.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, the second you hear that click, the adrenaline's just gonna snap, and you're gonna be like Popeye, and you just down, like, house the whole thing of fucking spinach. Like, that's what it's gonna be like. Like, you're just gonna, like, black out. He's dead. Like, blood everywhere. Like, it's solved, though, you know? Like, I feel like that's how it would go with adrenaline.
Realizing she had an opening, the woman lunged forward, throwing wild punches and tackling the attacker to the ground. And this caused the criminals to panic and sprint away. However, they'd taken goods worth $18,000.
No way, bro. Off a gold chain and a bracelet? Yo.
And the couple was injured, so much so that they required multiple stitches at a local hospital. Now that said, the robbers didn't get to enjoy their haul for long, as the detectives recognized them from a previous criminal investigation. So both men were arrested just days later.
Bro, that's just embarrassing. Like, even with the mask, he's like, hey, I know that guy. Like, come on, you got that kind of face? Like, look at them eyes. Ain't no one else got them eyes. Look at all, like... Look like he got fucked up. Like, he got messed up, dude.
And locked up on heavy felony charges. Delayed escape. In December 2025, a sudden ambush turned a carefully planned raid into a chaotic mess.
Yo, what is that dude's feet in the air?
Turned a carefully planned raid into a chaotic...
How do we get here? How does this happen?
Mess. It all unfolded when a Miami resident walked up to the
Florida, bro. Florida again.
Entrance of his home. He casually opened the front door expecting a quiet night, but that's when 3 men rushed to the entryway and shoved their way inside. One suspect immediately got his gun out while the other 2 violently tackled the man to the ground. The victim screamed for help, yet no one came to his rescue. Instead, the suspects punched him repeatedly, eventually using zip ties to bind his hands and feet together.
Dude, punched? Punched? We had to be all weird about that?
The helpless man was then dragged through the house and forced to open a locked safe with cash in it. However, just as the robbers were about to sprint away with their loot, someone else showed up. Turns out the man's female roommate had finally awoken from the muffled screams. But sadly, she didn't prove to be much of a challenge, as she was also pinned down and bound with zip ties. What she did do, though, was delay the criminals enough for the neighbors to hear the screams and call the cops. So before they could make their escape, the police arrived and established a perimeter. In the end, all 3 men were arrested and slapped with several felony charges, including robbery.
I mean, dudes weren't even... I mean, this just seemed random, too. Like, I feel like the ones that sit there and plan it out are, like, have a better shot, I guess. Like, this is just aggressive, though. Like, I don't know. You're just busting in and hurting him. Like, especially with, like, Ring and stuff. Like, I feel like that's just not... I mean, you got to be a smart criminal, and you don't have to hurt people to be, you know, against the law or whatever. But I don't know why they take it so far.
And aggravated battery.
Bro, for $400 in cash, dude, and some jewelry that you're not going to be able to sell for full value. Like that last one, $18,000. He ain't getting $18,000 for that in any world.
A desperate struggle. Robbers often find easy targets for their heists, but this one had no idea that a pregnant mother could actually fight back. 31-year-old Lily Garza was taking a peaceful nap inside her Houston home on August 15th.
Dude, I'm saying the adrenaline, bro. She's gonna kill him, and she ain't gonna think about it.
2024. She was 8 months pregnant, and her husband was away at work. Outside, security cameras captured a suspicious middle-aged man circling the property, and it didn't take him long to find
through an open window. You're napping with an open, bruh.
Find an entrance. He spotted an unlocked window, quietly slid it open, and broke into the house.
Bro, second floor. Second floor. That's what I'm telling you. You got a balcony. You lock that bitch. You got a balcony. You lock that bitch. It's simple.
In broad daylight. Once he was inside, the man pulled out a knife and crept up the stairs, silently stealing from the drawers as he made his way to the bedroom.
Okay, it wasn't second floor, but you lock your shit.
Suddenly, Lily jolted awake, and what she saw was terrifying. The man was standing directly over her mattress. So as soon as she woke up, the robber instantly lunged forward, pinning her against the sheets and warning her not to do anything stupid. Now,
bro, I just woke up too. Ooh, you getting all that energy that's just been like stewing, you know? And then I'm just awake and then just like, ooh, nah, this would be the perfect scenario.
Lily initially managed to maintain her composure.
I mean, I'm not trying to manifest this. Not at all. Like, come on, don't. I'm just trying to watch a video here. Don't, universe, come on, man.
However, as soon as the robber looked away, she made a run for it, sprinting down the staircase. The man followed, catching her at the bottom of the stairs, putting her in a chokehold, and then dropping her to the floor.
Oh shit, maybe it was second floor.
Lily screamed in fear as the small family dogs barked at the attacker, yet the man didn't flinch. He ignored her pleas and ripped her wedding ring right off her finger alongside a watch and phone. But just as he was forcing her back upstairs, Lily made a desperate gamble, breaking free and running out of the front door to scream for help. This was enough to wake the neighbors.
Bro, I thought she kicked his ass. What are we talking about?
So, knowing he was in trouble, the suspect fled through the back exit and disappeared into the surrounding streets.
Bro, you said she could fight back? Come on, bro. That one was kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for her. I really do, but... Bro, that wasn't that wasn't a level 4, though. That wasn't a level 4.
Level 5. The driver. When a home invader drove up to a house, he had no idea that inside, he'd be facing his worst nightmare.
Yo, isn't that... That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it'd be fine if people weren't just dumbasses about it. Like, what the fuck is that? But you're not getting away with this. You're not gonna get away with that.
On March 25th, 2025, a family was relaxing in their home in British Columbia, Canada, not knowing the hell that was about to break.
Oh, not only the U.S. then. Not only the U.S.
Loose. Because outside, Robin Wakeling had pulled his vehicle up to the driveway, stopping directly in front of the closed garage door. He stayed there for a full minute contemplating...
Bro, he looked normal as fuck. What the heck?
...his next move. That's when Wakeling slowly backed down the pavement, paused, and then accelerated at full speed. A loud boom echoed through the area as the car smashed
dude, that's such a nice car, too.
right through the metal door. Hearing the noise, the homeowner rushed to the garage to investigate, but before he could even fathom what had happened, Wakeling jumped out and charged blindly into the house. In fact, he completely...
Bro, getting robbed by, like, Johnny Appleseed. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'd be so off guard if this guy just bust in. Looking like you just shampooed and shit. Like, what do we do? What kind of Old Spice commercial is this?
...out and charged blindly into the house. In fact, he completely shoved the homeowner out of the way, running toward the hallway. And when the man rushed to stop him, Wakeling pulled out a metal chain and wrapped it tightly around the homeowner's neck. Within seconds, the scene became violent, with the suspect screaming threats while choking the man. But that's when the homeowner got a massive adrenaline rush.
Hey, there we go. Now we're talking.
In an instant, he wrestled back, lifting Wakeling into the air and slammed him head first into the floor.
There you go. Just like some fucking WWE shit. No regard for their safety. I guess that would be the fun part, you know? Because normally you like are sane and you're like, oh, that would be crazy, you know? But you're like, I get to be crazy for a little bit, so I'm going in.
The family quickly called 911 while the man kept the suspect pinned down to the floor. Officers arrived at the property shortly after, taking Wakeling into custody.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm snapping 2 legs and I'm just sitting. Like, I'm chilling. That's what I'm gonna do.
Ending what could have been a deadly encounter. In the end, Wakeling was given 7 charges, including unlawful entry and assault.
Okay, I mean, I feel like how long did he go? I mean, that's a life sentence, bro. Like, you're gonna do that to somebody else.
The reversal. On the afternoon of May 1st, 2023, a man was inside his home in Guayamare, Bolivia, when he heard the telltale signs of a forced entry. But the man didn't panic or even call for help.
He looked ready, bro. He looked ready to take somebody down. This ain't the first rodeo.
He quietly grabbed a gun and stood around the corner, silently waiting to attack. So as the armed intruder moved through the hallways, he was completely
got the aura too, man. Like, he just don't give no fucks.
He quietly grabbed a
pulled that gun out too, man.
And stood around the corner, silently waiting to attack. So as the armed intruder moved through the hallways, he was completely oblivious to the trap he was walking into. As soon as the stranger spotted the homeowner, he lunged forward to attack, but the resident
that's what I'm saying. Get that heat ready.
To avoid being outpowered, he raised his gun and fired at point-blank range.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm dumping.
Instantly dropping the intruder to the floor.
Is that legal? I don't know. I shouldn't be asking random people.
The sound of the blast was heard through the neighborhood, putting an end to the attempted heist. While emergency services quickly arrived on the scene, it was too late. The intruder had succumbed to his injuries.
Oh yeah, dude, that was like straight up in his face, dude. I mean, that seemed like in the neck or something. It's definitely a vital area.
Was pronounced dead. In the end, the homeowner was detained for questioning, though many argued that his actions were justified as it was self-defense. But no update was given on an arrest.
Oh, okay, so he probably wasn't arrested. But why did it say a second victim who was at the home during the robbery said she was asleep and woke up after hearing her roommate screaming for the police to come? She was also hit by one of the suspects. We didn't even see that, bro. There was another guy. She was also zip-tied and had her mouth covered. That was a completely different story than what you said.
And the homeowner was detained for questioning, though many argued that his actions were justified as...
Okay, bro, and then we're just gonna move on. That's weird. That's weird.
In 2021, a midnight robbery went south when the victim showed up with a gun of his own. The incident went down in Mato Grosso, Brazil, where a farm owner was returning to his property late at night. He lived there with his 67-year-old mother and family dogs. Shortly after he arrived, however, the dogs began barking frantically. Someone was outside the front door, and whoever it was, they weren't friendly. So, sensing the danger, the farmer grabbed his revolver.
Ooh, right off rip? Good job.
Now, the intruder was a 28-year-old criminal, Paulo Tenorio, who was lurking near the farmer's pickup truck with a pistol in his hand. Just as he rounded the corner toward the kitchen door, he found himself face to face with the armed property owner. Now, we cannot show the full footage here due to community guidelines.
Okay, bud. I know. I'm aware of your Patreon.
Triggering a firing exchange right outside the residence. But when the farmer fired 2 quick rounds in self-defense, the second bullet
He got off double right now?
struck the intruder squarely in the forehead. Tenorio immediately collapsed onto the dirt, but he wasn't the only intruder. Turns out his 2 partners were just around the corner when the shots were fired. And hearing that, they just decided to turn away and flee, leaving
Yo, no honor, right? No honor among thieves? Is that what it is?
Tenorio behind. Now, the farmer didn't want his mother to be stressed, so he chose not to call the police. Instead, he loaded the bleeding intruder into the back of his truck and rushed him to a nearby hospital, but that's when the situation got even worse. On his way, the man noticed a car aggressively tailgating his truck. Fearing that Tenorio's accomplices were preparing to ambush him, the farmer stopped the truck, dumped the body in a ditch, and raced back home to guard his mother. But the guilt ate him alive, and he couldn't sleep all night. So as the sun rose, he walked straight into the police station.
Yo, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. What the fuck, dude? What a weird, sequence of decisions.
To surrender. The man handed over the security footage and told them about the body.
Whoa, wait. So he shoots the guy, kills him, right? Don't want to worry the mom. So I'm going to put him in the car, take him to the hospital. You see a car following you that you think is the accomplice. You're not sure. So you pull over, dump the body in a ditch, and then go back home to protect your mother. I'm not sure that one's holding up, bud. I think you're going to jail.
To surrender. The man handed over the security footage and told them about the body and even confessed that his revolver wasn't registered. Now that said, investigators later discovered that Tenorio was a notorious hitman with a nasty criminal record, including multiple homicides. So it's safe to say that many believe the farmer actually did society a favor.
Oh yeah, dude, this guy's a hitman. I mean, he said a 28-year-old criminal. Like, I didn't think he was a, many times hitman. That's fucking insane. So he would have been dead if he didn't grab that gun.
Easy targets. The intruders thought they were robbing a defenseless couple, but they weren't ready for the crazy counterattack.
That's just messy, though. Like, can you be more cool about the shit? Like, can't you find a cooler way to do it than just be a savage?
In February 2025, a man and a woman, both in their 30s, were asleep in their New Brunswick home. But at about 6 a.m., 3 men violently forced their way in through the front entrance.
I don't know, this might be a horrible take, but I feel like I respect people that do like credit card fraud and shit more than like violent crime. Like, I don't mind blue collar crime. Like, if you're gonna embezzle money or some shit, like, people are gonna find out, you're gonna go to jail, so it's whatever. But it's like money, dude. Like, money comes and goes, I feel like. But when you start hurting people and killing, like, that's just something wrong in there.
The intruders weren't just there by chance either, as they moved with careful precision, hoping to catch the couple off guard. But as soon as the couple woke up, a physical brawl erupted inside the house as they tried to defend themselves against the robbers. The residents were outmatched and outnumbered, yet out of nowhere, the tables turned. During the fight, one of the attackers was violently struck down, collapsing on the spot. Now that the numbers were even, the intruders panicked. They instantly abandoned their partner and sprinted out of the door, speeding away in their truck just as sirens began.
I mean, I get it though, you're with like 2 other dudes and they're like, let's go hit this house, bro. It's like, I've mapped it, I know. And then you're like with them, you realize it's kind of going south. Dude gets dropped by like a grandpa. I'm dipping, bro. Like, I'm out on this. Like, I was just trying to get a bag.
Echoing down the road. But while they got away, the third man wasn't so lucky. In fact, the blow was so violent that he was pronounced dead at the scene.
That's the adrenaline, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's going one hit, so one tap a dude, a 35-year-old.
The story doesn't end there. Detectives spend ages quietly piecing together the identities of the fleeing men. And after 8 months, one other robber was finally tracked down and charged with manslaughter and armed invasion.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You're never going to be safe. Like, sure, you're going to get some loot. You're going to make 5, 10K. Like, great. And then 8 months later, you're going to get hunted down from a robbery you don't remember because you've done so many.
Down and charged with manslaughter and armed invasion.
It's just stupid, bro. Stupid way to live life.
Level 6. Family Nightmare. In November 2023, a family's peaceful morning turned into a nightmare when 4 masked men...
Yo, how'd they even get out of the car? How'd they even get out?
Family's peaceful morning turned into a nightmare when 4 masked men invaded their home.
Okay, they just ran behind it. I thought they were inside.
Pina was inside the kitchen making breakfast for her husband, who ran a business from their home in Philadelphia. Outside, the husband and one of his employees were standing by the property when a car suddenly pulled up. Without warning, 4 masked men armed with guns suddenly emerged from the car and ambushed them. They didn't hesitate before shoving the weapons into the trio's faces, forcing both of them back into the house.
Damn, bro. Ain't no way anybody could be ready for that, too. Like, sure, you could stay strapped and stuff, but I feel like you being ready to pull it on somebody in broad daylight like this, like, you got to be ready. It'll be like head on a swivel.
Suddenly emerged from the car and ambushed them. They didn't hesitate before shoving the weapons into the trio's faces, forcing both of them back into the house. But it was when they got inside that things really got ugly. The intruders aggressively threatened to fire at everyone if they moved an inch. In fact, they even forced the business owner and the employee to get down on the floor, tying them up and then hit them. As they lay helplessly on the floor with armed men over them, Ipina's daughter showed up.
Oh my God, bro.
She stood mere inches away, asking the robbers not to hurt her family, yet the cruelty didn't stop. The suspects ignored her pleas, continuing to ransack the home for several minutes. They took jewelry, a safe, and weapons before speeding off.
Why the safe got a thing on it? Or is that like a dolly that they brought? Like, what the fuck?
They took jewelry, a safe, and weapons before speeding off. Once paramedics arrived, they confirmed that miraculously no one got injured at the scene. However, no arrests were made.
And they got away, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is, I feel like it's part of it for them to say that they're gonna like hurt you and kill you and stuff. But if they don't, you know, and they just like smack you or something, like, it's not that bad. Like, it could have been way worse. Like, you could have been killed, you know? But I just don't get what, like, just leave then. Like, you're gonna get caught, you know? Crazy they didn't find these guys, though.
Suspects remain at large.
I mean, they were unmasked. Well, I mean, you got a just good visual of them.
Immediate access to... Most people...
Oh, this is the Amaranth thing, bro. I feel like that's so common knowledge, dude. I'm just gonna skip that one.
For a studio mic and a single chocolate bar. 24-year-old Benjamin...
Bro, they got almost nothing off that, too? I didn't know that.
Nevers and his friends had just returned home from a vacation in the Bahamas in January 2025. So they were looking forward to a quiet night of rest. Little did they know their lives were about to become a living hell. As Nevers and his girlfriend slept in the back bedroom, a man quietly broke in through a kitchen window. And upon reaching the living room, he found Nevers' friend. In an instant, the intruder took down the guy, holding him flat at gunpoint before he could resist. But by then, the trespasser had made enough commotion to wake Nevers up. Realizing his home had been breached, the man scrambled out of bed, grabbed his gun, and cocked it in the dark. And what followed was absolute chaos.
Wow, dude.
The moment the intruder turned the corner into the bedroom, he spotted Nevers and opened fire. A bullet struck the home.
Dude, imagine going downstairs knowing you're gonna shoot somebody. Like, that's crazy adrenaline right there.
Homeowner's foot while another hit his back. Despite his horrific injuries, Nevers immediately returned fire, sending a barrage of bullets down the hallway. One of them even hit the intruder in the leg. Now, as the gunfight raged on, Nevers' girlfriend attempted to shield herself beneath the bedsheets. But tragically, a stray bullet tore right through the mattress and struck her in the back.
No. That's crazy.
The gunfight eventually shattered the invader's confidence, and he slowly limped out of the residence.
Oh, in the back too? Can't that leave you like paralyzed if it like hits your spine? Oh my god, that's so it's random as shit though. Like, what are the odds that that happens to you?
However, the damage they'd left behind was extensive. Nevers and his girlfriend were eventually rushed to immediate trauma surgery, where they remained stable. Meanwhile, the police successfully tracked down and arrested the wounded gunman. The most bizarre thing about the encounter, however, was the fact that they were fighting over a duffel bag that didn't even contain any valuables.
Wow. Wow.
Delivery man.
Dude, every time, like, no matter what they get out with, it's not enough. No matter what you get out with, like, you're changing people's lives, bro, by hurting them so bad. Like, that's crazy. And then she got shot. She got shot in the back.
In May 2020, a man opened his door to receive a parcel, unaware that the courier had an ulterior motive. The incident unfolded at a family home in the affluent area of Upminster.
Wow, that's almost too easy, though. Like, I feel like people nowadays will just open for any package because they get so many Amazon packages and stuff.
And in a standard UPS uniform. So thinking it was a late-night delivery, he opened the door.
Never, bro. Put it down and leave. Never am I opening the door after like 8 p.m. for a delivery. What the fuck?
Guy was not a real courier. The man put the package on the floor, feigned checking his phone, and then violently charged forward. Before the father could react, 3 hooded accomplices
bro, I've seen this video.
Emerged from the corner.
I didn't know that's how it started. I didn't know that was the ruse. They only cut to this part in the other video.
Rushing the entrance. In fact, they were so quick that they attacked the father with a machete before he could even scream for help. The family was soon cornered in their own hallway as intruders brandished weapons.
Bro, a machete's insane. A machete's crazy. Like, you just don't give a fuck about people or like how they're gonna be affected by this if you're bringing a machete.
And shouted threats. Next, they dragged the bleeding father through the house while demanding access to their security lockbox. What happened after, however, completely shattered the family's lives. As the chaotic struggle for the lockbox raged on, one of the intruders pulled out their gun and opened fire. And the bullet hit the man directly in the shoulder while he was still sitting by his gaming console.
Wow.
This was a mistake, and the gang realized they'd gone too far.
Bro, and then you leave. Oh my god. It's like the fucking people that play League and feed and leave. And it's like, bro, like, you don't give a fuck. Dude, they just need to be, like, murdered. Like, that should be, like, life sentence for each of them. Just, you know, like, why are we even wasting time on that shit? Like, clearly they're not going to be, you know, people that have anything to live for at the end of this. Because by the time they get out, they'll be dead. So why are we wasting the time to house them? The whole thing, bro. It's just not the day, huh? Everything's just no way.
So they quickly abandoned their search, grabbed some jewelry, and sprinted out the front doors. But as this happened, the police were nowhere to be seen. In fact, muffled cries continued to echo from the property for 3 minutes straight.
Bro, that's just sad. Come on, man. Come on. God damn, bro. And that was level 6. Level 7 gonna be sad as fuck.
Level 7. Breakfast is ruined. When a mother started making breakfast for her family, she had no idea that a criminal was waiting to attack her. It happened in June 2013 while the woman was in the kitchen at her New Jersey home.
Bro, you bust in, see a 13-year-old, like a child, like a toddler or something, bro. Like, you don't just immediately leave. It's crazy. I don't know. Like, that, there's other people. Like, I feel like they're not even going to be that mad if you just like, oh shit, my bad, and leave. Like, they'll still be mad because you broke in. But come on, man.
But that's when Sean Custis, a career criminal with a burglary record going back to the 90s,
Sean, bro, you could have been so cool, man.
Stepped into the fray. He approached the back of the house and kicked through a locked door, storming straight into the living room. Before the mother could even call for help or rush to her daughter, Custis lunged at her. And what followed was a desperate life or death struggle. The man repeatedly
come on, man. I'm uncensored on bro. Stop.
attacked the helpless woman, completely overpowering her as she desperately tried to shield herself. What's more, the woman's daughter cowered in the living room couch just feet away, forced to watch the intruder.
Oh my god, bro, that's so sad.
Relentless attacks. Once he thought he'd dealt enough damage, Custis quickly ransacked the upper floor for valuables before fleeing. As for the mother, she'd suffered.
And I'm out, and I'm gonna go. And with my pockets full? Like, what? Dude didn't even have anything. He just went in to beat her ass. Like, what the fuck?
Severe physical trauma and a fall down the staircase. Yet, she survived.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Custis's freedom was also short-lived.
What a fucking loser, dude. Throw him away. What a loser.
Security camera to keep.
Alright, dude. This might. Hopefully, this is this the last one? Dude, these are sad.
Welcome home. Anna Scott had installed a security camera to keep her home safe while she was away, but it ended up capturing her final moments. The 36-year-old was driving back to her home in Decatur, Georgia on September 20th, 2025. She had no idea that while she was away, 3 men were already scoping out her porch and trying to break in. So, as she steered her Jeep down the driveway and pulled up in front of the house, her headlights exposed the intruders. And what happened after was brutal.
Dude, she pulled up on them? Oh my god. You don't even know.
Realizing they'd been caught, the criminals didn't run. Instead, one of them instantly pulled a gun and opened fire directly at Scott's vehicle. And before she could even react, the woman was struck in the chest while trapped behind the steering wheel. What's more, the suspects kept firing just to make sure she wouldn't survive before fleeing into the night.
Dude, that's just like the bottom of the bottom of people, bro. Like, how can you even be okay with that? Like, how do you not? Oh, wow, dude. All right. It is level 7. Dude, I'm liking this video. This has been a fucking ride.
The man called 911 to save himself from an intruder, totally unaware that the police would just make things worse. On February 8th, 2025, Jose Lopez was spending the night drinking beers at his house with coworker Christian Contreras. But things got tense when an argument broke out over splitting the cost of the beer. Contreras was angry and aggressive, so much so that after being kicked out, he refused his Uber ride home. However, even though he was outside, the man
was just drunk, though. I mean, this is normal for a bar.
Refused to leave the property. Instead, he kept trying to find ways to get back inside. And at one point, he even used a construction ladder to scale the wall and get back in.
That's dramatic, bro. He used the ladder to get into the window. He didn't scale the wall. I mean, I'm gonna stop you there. Like, I haven't critiqued one thing he said, but that's too much.
Through a window. Now, at this point, Lopez was panicking, so much so that he called a neighbor, frantically asking her to dial 911 because he couldn't speak English. When deputies arrived at the scene...
Oh no, dude, that's so unfortunate. Like, he can't even call for help. They speak Spanish, no? You call 911, hola, like, I think they would figure out what's going on, right?
However, they found the 2 men locked in a violent struggle inside the house. Lopez had Contreras pinned down in a headlock, so from the outside, it really looked like Contreras was the hostage in imminent danger.
Is it not?
The deputies misread the situation as well, thinking Lopez had a knife. Within seconds, both deputies...
Oh, I mean, that one's actually kind of... I mean, what would have been going on? Like, look at that image. Like, he looks like he's holding the guy down. And I cannot see the other guy. Like, yeah, you look like you did it, though. So I get where they fuck up, you know? But, I don't know. They shot him straight up, though?
Well, thinking Lopez had a knife. Within seconds, both deputies opened fire. 3 shots went through the glass, striking the unarmed homeowner directly in the head.
Did we think he had a knife, or do we know he had a knife? Like, I feel like y'all shouldn't be shooting if you think he has a knife.
And just like that, the man instantly lost his life, all because of a misunderstanding. The investigators also didn't find a knife at the scene. However, Contreras did admit that since neither of them understood English, they couldn't communicate the truth to the firing squad.
Dude, I'm so done with... Oh, dude, this is why I don't watch, like, body cam stuff anymore as much, and, like, police stuff, because it's, like, it's so fucked, dude. None of it makes any sense. Every time there's charges, it's depressing, and it's like, oh, they got 2 months for killing 12 people. Like, I don't understand. And then there's, like, a cop, and, like, oh, he got 1,000,000 years for stealing a Hubba Bubba. Like, bro, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
In the end, the state prosecutors cleared the firing officers of any wrongdoing.
Of course.
Contreras, on the other hand...
Bro, of course they're gonna say we thought he had a knife after the fact. Like, he...
was arrested and charged with second-degree homicide.
Well, it's just like the Lego shit. Like, I'm sure everyone's been following the whole Lego fiasco and saga situation, but it's the same thing. It's just like there's police stuff going wrong that no one can get justice for, and it's just we're all fucked. Like, that's just what it is, and you gotta be okay with that, and I'm not.
Upstanding citizen. Brandon Durham did exactly what the law told him to do during a home invasion, and yet he paid a hefty price for it.
Bro, that name is familiar. Brandon Durham?
It all happened on November 12th, 2024, when Durham woke up to the sounds of breaking glass and gunfire outside his Las Vegas home. He
Las Vegas?
instantly knew someone was trying to break in. So he told his daughter Isabella to lock herself inside her bedroom and hide. Durham then grabbed his phone, locked himself in a nearby bathroom, and frantically dialed 911. He'd followed the rule.
Weird move, no? Weird move, no? I don't know, maybe that's fine. Yeah, like, be in separate rooms so we don't get found together, but I also would want to be not there if they bust into the room where she's in and they don't find me calling the police, acting like, I don't know, bro. Weird move.
Rule book to a T and had done everything he was supposed to do in this situation. When police units arrived at the scene, they found cars with smashed windows outside and visible damage to the home as well. But that's when they heard screams coming from deep inside the house.
Oh, shit.
Fearing the worst, the officer drew his weapon and kicked down the door, navigating the dark hallway and following the noise. As soon as he turned the corner, however, the officer was blindsided by a violent scene. A shirtless Durham was locked in a struggle over a knife with 31-year-old Alejandra Boudreau, who was wearing a ski mask. The officer shouted to them to drop the knife, but before either of them could react, he pulled the trigger. The initial shot struck Durham, sending both him and Boudreau crashing to the floor.
Oh no.
And as the homeowner lay collapsed on the ground, the officer fired 5 more rounds at him, instantly killing him in his own hallway.
Aww.
Durham was the victim in this situation, yet the responding officer treated him.
Bro, the other person has a ski mask on. What are you doing shooting the person who's not concealing their identity?
His lifeless body as an active suspect, screaming at him to stay down. What's more, a review revealed that Boudreau was not a random burglar. She was Durham's former partner who deliberately targeted the house, and while she was charged with felony home invasion, the firing officer was only placed on paid administrative leave.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, I'm done, bro. These are just disappointing, bro. Good videos, good clips. Like, honestly, Abyssal Detective is really good, bro. But that was just so depressing. And every one of them was like increasingly more infuriating on like the police side. Like I said with the Lego thing, like it was upsetting about the Legos, and then you're just like, wow, fuck the police. And then you're like, the same thing everywhere, dude. It's just like, you can't just do it that blatantly and expect no one to like be upset or like notice.